Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Tito, and welcome to the morning show here on Aloha Android. Basically, just what I normally do throughout the morning, mobile tech stuff, and so I figured I would just start doing it live. Um, so this topic is still hot. I've talked about this multiple times. I'm pretty sure some people are getting sick and tired of me talking about it, but you know what? News is news, and so I just kind of wanted to open the door, open the floodgates, and talk about it whether it's good or bad, and that would have to be Pokemon Go. This game just spawns all kinds of media press, basically, whether it's good or bad, and people have weighed in on it, whether they want to convey how much they love the game and how much fun they're having, and then there's those people who want to convey how childish grown adults are being for even selecting to download this game. And so I just kind of want to touch base with all of it and kind of dive deep in and give my thoughts and opinions about it and some things maybe that's being overlooked or, just in general. So first, let's just talk about the game for some people who still may not have downloaded the game and tried it. Because believe me, just because a lot of people find it to be entertaining and fun does not mean that everyone in this country has downloaded the game. And so basically the game's whole principal point is for you to become the Pokemon trainer and actually venture off into the world to capture all different types of Pokemon. That is the challenge of the game. And what makes it actually challenging is that this is one of those games where you don't just download and sit in a chair and just play. Like, you have to physically get up and move. That is the whole point of the game. So you have to venture around your city, your town, and you go out there looking for different types of Pokemon, and you have to capture them. And just to kind of add a little flair to the game, they have places set up to be points of where they're considered gyms or Pokemon stops. Now, Pokemon stops, you can basically re-up on Pokeballs or like different items at random. You can also set up lures at these Pokemon stop, basically just to have Pokemon kind of venture into that one area so you can catch some different ones that you don't have. The gyms basically is where you can battle your Pokemon. And of course, a fight to control a gym constantly always happens. So it's not like one gym particularly stays one type. It can always be shifted and changed by whoever came to that area and then dominated the area. So I mean that's just pretty much like the whole quick point of the game. Just you getting up and wandering off into the world. That's really what it's all about. Now, it's gathered some love from people who are a bit nostalgic about it, that grew up playing the game on Game Boy. They're having so much fun, just reliving their childhood years, I guess. Some people will say maybe like a midlife crisis type point, and you really can't knock somebody for that. Everyone does that, Everyone tends to, at some point in time, basically, see something that reminds them of their childhood and revert back to it and find some joy in it. So, of course, the newer generation kids are learning more about it, and so it's something that it's like a win-win. It's like for older people, brings back memories. For younger people, teaches them things, and can even like bridge the gap between parents and child, basically sharing something of interest that one has had when they were a kid, and can pass on the knowledge to their kids that's into it right now, and help them make become better players, I guess, in a sense. But again, when things are really big, everyone has opinions on it, and that's one thing, is that people should respect other people's opinions. Like, there's people who comment about it and who say that they technically, think that it's childish for anyone to play this game, and they want to go ahead and verbally say that people who play this game are all stupid people. And again, pretty harsh and brash, comments being made about this game, and even attacking people who take the time to actually try the game or even are into playing the game. But then again, at the end of the day, we respect everyone's opinions about it. Okay, some people feel like that, if you're an adult who plays this game, that you're stupid. Um, some people don't know the point or the value in even playing the game at all whatsoever. So here's some things though. Okay, like Pokemon was never for everybody. Some people grew up not liking it at all. And not to make it into some kind of war or anything like that, which is pretty ridiculous that people would even consider it going that far. But one person's thoughts can't change the entire world. Um, and I think that's where it starts to become a little issue, a little battle on different websites like Android Authority or Android Central or Android Headlines or Android Police. All these different all these different sites that are daily posting new things that they find about Pokemon Go. I would say it's pretty odd to even attack these blog sites for doing that. I mean, they are, one thing they do is they report about mobile technology. So brand new phones that come out, they write up articles about it. New applications that come out, they write up articles about it. And gaming on Android devices as well as iOS devices, they will write articles about it. And if it's something that is going to remain a hot topic, they're going to continuously write about it. I mean, who would really pass that up? If you were a person that owned, a blogging site, and whether you liked the game or not, or you were interested in the application or not, if the application was hot and everyone wanted to know about it, or people were asking more questions about it, or new development was constantly coming out about it, would you stop writing about it? I highly doubt it, especially, if you're like, the editorial chief. You wouldn't stop. You wouldn't tell people like, oh, we have enough of Pokemon Go. We're not going to publish that article. Like, no way. You're going to continuously keep doing it, whether you like it or not, because that's news. People want to know about these things. So to attack the blogging sites is like pointless. And again, the blogging sites really don't really base every article that they publish based around what we want. We're not the editors in chief there that basically decide what articles they're going to write about. They do. It's not to say that they don't care about what we think. They do, obviously, and they can tell what's capturing our attentions and what's not capturing our attentions. They can tell, but not every decision made at these blogging sites is run by the public, by us, by the consumers. It's not. It's run by them. So there's like a balance there, a balance between what they put out for the consumers and what they look at, how the consumers receive it, and whether it's something that that is good for them. So really attacking the blogging sites is not doesn't even help it. Besides that, one interesting comment that was asked was, playing Pokemon Go, what is the benefits of the game? And the benefits of the game is pretty much lit up if you think about it, okay? And not defending the actual game itself, but the purpose of the game. And one of the major benefits of playing Pokemon Go is that it gets you mobile. It gets you moving. If you want to play this game, if you want to succeed in this game, if you want to reach elevated points, because you're a hardcore gamer and you've got to be the best at it compared to anyone else, which, hey, you can't knock somebody for wanting to be the best. But it gets you moving, and that's the number one problem that we face today on sort of like a different topic on health-wise. It's something that we face every day, okay? It's no secret that in the United States of America, obesity runs rampant compared to other countries. And that's just because, in today's society, we really don't push for exercise, especially with the younger generation. Like things that I grew up doing when I was a kid in school. We had different marathon things. We had I don't know what they call them in your areas, but on certain places where I lived, because my dad was in the military. we had what was called Field Day, which was an entire week of just basically physical education. And there were different events scheduled for different days of the week, and all the kids from kindergarten to fifth grade competed in elementary schools, and they did so in middle schools and junior high and high school. They don't have those anymore, and because they don't have them anymore, the only type of exercise that children today get is at lunch recess when they're running around. But because certain schools have allowed kids to use their smartphones, majority of these kids are eating lunch, meeting up at their certain group spot, whether it's under a tree or at a specific bench, and then they're on their smartphones. They're not really running around playing all too much. I mean, some kids do still do the normal thing, which is get outside and play, run around and exercise, but not a lot of them do, and it's not enforced. It's not well, enforce is probably the bad word to use towards it, but it's not encouraged for the youth to be active. And it doesn't help to where parents today are consumed by electronic devices that they don't even make time for their own kids. Like, I can't stress this enough how I can see this in daily life. Kids could be outside with their parents. Maybe they're going to the mall. Maybe they're going to go to whatever place they're going to, and the parent is on their smartphone, and the kids are just bored out of their minds, just kind of standing there. And so, yeah, the kids aren't encouraged to run around and play, and then, when the kid's thirsty, because the parent wants to make sure that the child doesn't bother them, they're given a full 2 liter of soda to drink, like, normally we would buy, like a 20 ounce or 16 ounce. They're given a 2 liter to drink in one sitting. That's where it's sort of starting to become a problem health-wise. And, of course, gaming keeps people stationary. Like, if you play on Xbox or if you play on PlayStation 2, you're stationary. You're not up and moving around, really. I mean, Nintendo has had an idea of getting people moving since the release of the Nintendo Wii, which was years ago. And that was to get people just to physically move during a game, which was a good idea. And playing games like Wii Resort and stuff like that got you kind of moving around. But they needed to get this to a different state, something more elevated, something more extreme. And Pokemon Go, whether people want to believe it or not, is kind of the answer to that, because you have to venture off in your world. So that increases people walking, which is a ton of things that I see when it comes to different people posting on these forums. Is that one of the major things that they say is that I feel great, moving around and getting out and walking. I did a lot of walking today, and I feel better for it. And that is like one of the major plot points of this game, as far as what it's intended for. It's intended to get people moving, and because today, we as humans, we require entertainment for a reason for us to do something. That's no secret either. Most people won't do things just because. They'll do things either to get some sort of benefit out of it, some sort of reward, or they won't do it unless there's something, that piques their interest and is entertaining. And so Pokemon Go kind of fills that void, right? Like, you're playing a game, so of course you're playing a video game, and you're walking. And because you're playing the video game, it defeats your mind's thoughts of, like, I don't feel like walking just for no reason. That doesn't come to anyone's mind because you're playing a game. So getting people actively moving really helps. And anyone can sit there and say, like, it's not for health. And, hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I can tell you this much. There are people that's actively losing weight currently based upon them playing this game, and more power to them, more kudos to them. There's also people who have type 2 diabetes that have been stationary at home, have gotten up and walked around. And let me tell you, type 2 diabetes, you don't feel great all the time, especially even after you eat, or if you go a little bit over on your sugar. you don't feel really good. And one of the best things that someone with type 2 diabetes can do is walk. Walking really helps somebody with type 2 diabetes. So that is something that's always, said like, hey, go and do it. So besides that health thing, which was like a pretty broad topic, um, as far as people hating on a game, like why even take your time to argue and call people stupid about playing Pokemon Go? That's one thing that's just like, if you feel that way, you feel that way. I mean, if you really want to express it, okay, that's fine. But you can't get mad when people don't validate your comment, your hateful comment, or don't agree with your hateful comment. Can't hate people for that, and can't expect people to jump on your bandwagon or drink your Kool-Aid. You know, it was like, the way I see this is like, like I said, for older adults to play this game, it's just a nostalgic feeling playing the game. Pokemon has been around for a long time, and while some people will sit there and they'll say like, oh, this is just one of those overhyped games, and give it a month or two, it will seem to die out. Which I felt that way at one point when this game first came out. I don't feel that way anymore. And it's not, like, oh, I've grown to like the game, and so I want it to stay around forever. Like, no, I don't feel that its hype is going to die down really fast, like some games have. Just because like of how big Pokemon has been throughout years and how it has flourished throughout years, it's still around. Games are still being made about it. Whether they change the characters, they change the list of Pokemon. Like, it's a franchise that keeps going. And so the game on Android devices and iOS devices, it will continuously keep going. I mean, yes, there are people who have downloaded and played and had fun, and maybe next month they're just, something in life is just going to keep them occupied, that they're not even going to launch the game application, or maybe they might, consider freeing up space on their phone or deleting the app. That's inevitable. That will happen. But as far as like the game dying completely, within a month or two, I don't think so. I don't think it'll die that easily. Um, and of course, like people wonder, like, why Pokemon? Why do people want to play it? I mean, it would be the same thing for grown adults, like if they made a game based around Voltron. If they made some sort of Voltron game, people who were fan of Voltrons when they were kids are going to play this game. Same if they made like a Thundercats. Okay, these are characters and stories that will bring this really awesome feeling, to people, especially around my age, because we grew up around Voltron, and we grew up around Thundercats, He-Man, and all these Saturday morning cartoons that we used to just watch, and we used to just, that was our entertainment. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are still around today. And with, if they make a game on it, of course, grown adults who, are going to want to play it, because it's kind of just bringing back old childhood memories, and to label them as stupid or dumb is basically stupid or dumb in itself. Everyone just has, certain, like, this something that they're attached to from their childhood that brings back good memories, and we all seek that every day. We seek that, whether we think we are or aren't. It's something that we seek every day. It's because all the good memories that we have attached to that one thing. That's really what it's all about. It's like Thundercats. You're a big fan of Thundercats, but when someone talks to you about Thundercats and you start going on your rant about it, I'm pretty sure, besides the fact that you talk about the characters, that you're going to bring up some micro story that has somewhat to do with Thundercats that you remember about your dad or your mom, or a place that you were visiting or something like that. That's inevitable. So now some people just have certain good memories linked to Pokemon, and can remember something in their timeline, in their lifetime, about Pokemon that had to do with their personal life. You can't knock it or change it. It's going to happen. So that just answers the questions to a few people out there who go on these different forums and posts. Like, what's the point of a grown person playing the game? There's a point. the nostalgic feeling while playing the game. Now, this game, while it does have some positive points to it, there is some negative stuff spawning up, and it's getting insane. Now, yesterday I talked about somebody who decided to blurt out loud that they caught a rare Pokemon, and somebody that was within that vicinity area decided to attack the kid and try to take off with his phone, and ultimately the phone wound up, falling in water, and the kid who owned the phone, his mom is unemployed, so he's not able to get a new phone, so he's like really stressed out because he ain't going to be able to play Pokemon Go unless one of his friends loans him a phone to use or something. There's more news that gets far worse than that. There's people that have taken this game to a whole different level. And when I mean a whole different level is that they're starting to kind of use the whole gang mentality, and they're trying to bring it into this whole game source. One thing that I've seen that was shared across Facebook. So this may have some truth to it, may not, but that's up to you guys to decide. But the whole point of what they were showing in the photos, someone graffitied on a certain place, I guess, where there was a gym. They graffitied on the building, Team Mystique, and they spray painted the Mystique logo. And it's like, okay, you know what? If you really want to show that you have control over that gym, just battle in the gym and beat the people who left their Pokemon there and take over the gym. You don't have to deface property in real world to say you own that gym. Like, that's ridiculous. And that's what's going to make, that brings negative vibes to the game. It also brings like a negative outlook by the public, and eventually could lead to a point where, it's going to tarnish the whole gameplay. This is Pokemon Go. It's just a fun game. When you choose a team that you're part of, it's just a whole team thing, but a positive thing to it. We don't need graffiti, defacing public property, to give this game a bad rap. I mean, there's already bad raps around this game based on people not using good judgment and not paying attention to their environment, their surroundings. That's one thing that is being looked at right now by, when you turn on the TV and you watch your local news and things like that, they still talk about it, and they still report new cases, new accidents, new things that have happened to people playing the game. So that's already one negative attention that is already happening with this game. And now, basically, with that article having any truth to it, people defacing property, graffitiing, based on the game Pokemon Go, that right there is absolute stupidity, but it also brings even worse negative rap around the game itself. We already have people trespassing on properties that they don't belong at, basically not having any respect for people's properties or even state government properties. People are still doing these, like, poor judgment, just like, oh, I need to get this Pokemon, I don't give a crap if the person's home or not, I'm going in their backyard. Like, okay, that's a problem. I mean, what would it take for someone to actually stop, go to the front door, ring the doorbell, and talk to the person in the home and just plead your case? Like, sir, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm playing this game, Pokemon Go. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's pretty popular. But there is a Jigglypuff showing in your backyard. May I go in your backyard to try and see if I can catch it? What is so hard? I mean, that is like, by today's standards, with technology, we don't really communicate with people the way we used to back in the in the 90s and in the 80s and so on in the past. Today people are pretty much boxed in by social media, by applications like Facebook and Google Plus, and Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, and that's how people normally communicate today. So this game has some point where you could actually use it to be more positive. What would be so hard to ask someone to go into their yard and see if you can catch a Pokemon? I mean, they may look at you like you're silly, but hey, I mean, chances are that, you probably would get someone that would be understanding to it and allow you to go. I know it would be harder for an adult to knock on someone else's house and, two adults talking and one saying, "I would like to go into your backyard and catch a Jigglypuff." I mean, yeah, okay, that would seem a little bit weird. And of course, the owner of the property may be a little bit more, like on guard because it's totally different when reacting with an adult. Because people do home invasions, they do robberies and things like that. So yeah, chances are you may be told no, but okay, deal with it. You probably find the same Pokemon somewhere else. But it doesn't, just because someone may say no to you, doesn't give you the right to just take it into your own hands and say, hey, I'm going to scale his backyard wall and walk around his backyard. Okay, and for kids that do it, kids that jump the wall and go into someone's backyard and realize, oh, they have this skateboard back here, they have this, this thing that I think is cool, and then they steal it. Okay, that brings a negative rap to the game. So people got to really practice good judgment, and I guess when I say practice good judgment, it doesn't only mean when you're crossing the street, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't look at your phone while you're crossing the street. It also means don't do anything illegal. Don't do anything stupid or brash, idiotic enough to get you hurt, arrested, thrown in jail, or much worse, dead. Which, thankfully, we haven't had any news reporting that someone died from this game. Because if that happened, yeah, this game's popularity would increase quite a bit, but not for it being something good, but for it being something bad. And I hate when there's something good that could be useful, that could be helpful, that's given to us, be taken away because people want to exploit it, they want to not practice good judgment, as I always say, and do something idiotic to screw it up for the rest of everyone else out there who's enjoying and playing the game. And believe me, there's quite a massive amount of people enjoying playing this game. The other day, took the kids to the park. We went to go feed the ducks. This is something that I like to do with my kids. And the park was unusually full of people walking around normally. And I say this because this park, it is a destination point for people to, when they're traveling to Phoenix. It's a park that, it's suggested for them to go through. Felt like there was an accident because I can hear fire trucks going by. But yeah, but it's a real beautiful park, and I'll take my kids there because we go there with some bread, and we feed the ducks, we feed the geese, the swans, and the pigeons that are around there, and it's so cool because my daughters, they just gotten over their fear of the geese. So now they'll actually like hand feed the geese. Like they'll hold the piece of bread and let the geese walk up to them and bite it from their hand. And we had tons of fun. But like I said, that park was unusually packed with people. And I noticed there were groups of people playing Pokemon Go. Like there was one person who was like the group's leader, telling where people should go in the park to kind of look for different Pokemon. And they have a group chat thing going on, whether it's on Facebook or if it's on Hangouts. And they're generally like giving each other info about what Pokemon they found in certain areas of the park, so then they can all converge to those areas and try to capture the same Pokemon, which is part of the point of playing the game too, or to have a better experience playing the game, is to not play it alone, but play it within group settings. You'll find more Pokemon, and you'll build your list faster, and it makes it easier. You can cover more of a radius. When you're looking at the nearby Pokemon list, you can cover more of a radius when you have more people playing with you than by yourself. Because you can imagine trying to walk in a circumference of 300 feet from a point that you are standing. You have to walk out and then walk this whole radius. That's like, yeah, it's easier if you have like more people just go in different directions, and they can, info back to you, like how much of because it's judged by the little footprints under the Pokemon. So when that starts to drop from 3 to 1, basically means you're getting closer. And so yeah, I mean they've already judged basically what each footprint represents as far as distance wise, and so that's something that people should really look up and check out. But yeah, I mean do it in groups, and that's what they were doing at the park. So kind of interesting. Just wanted to kind of share that story. It's kind of weird But at the same time too, like I understand, like they're into this game and they're having fun and they're of course they're being social, they're out, they're moving around, they're getting some form of exercise while doing it. Imagine, especially summertime, these kids have nothing to do all day. So imagine your kid gets up, he meets up with his friends after he eats breakfast with the family, and leaves the house say like at 11 o'clock, close to noon, and stays out from 11 till about 10 p.m. So almost 12 hours. He'll be out there hunting down Pokemon, constantly moving. And it's good for local businesses because local businesses can set up shop where they could, have their shop either become a Pokemon stop or be a gym. And, you know, it is true. Like people will walk into, say, an establishment like a coffee shop, and say the coffee shop okayed it to have its establishment be a gym. People will come in to battle at this gym, and if they're thirsty, or maybe if they love to have coffee, or maybe not just coffee, maybe they like to have smoothies, because we all know that coffee shops sell more than just coffee. Of course, it's going to increase businesses. I know that a lot of comic book stores have come to, basically have requested for their establishment to become a gym so people can come and battle, as well as a few Pokemon stops nearby so people can re-up on items and equipment. So there's a lot of benefits from this game besides, the health-wise and all that other stuff. But, for a business point of view, you can really increase business flow into your establishment just by having, your establishment be a gym or a Pokemon stop. And believe me, requesting to having your small business become a gym, you may think maybe you'll gain one or two or three customers. No, you may gain a hell of a lot more than that because people, like I said, traffic-wise going through will either come to your establishment and remember that your coffee shop or your, say your sandwich shop or your burger joint is right there. And when they get hungry, they'll be like, yeah, let's go try that burger joint that we went where we battled yesterday or last week or whatever. And yeah, you're going to get, your business flow is going to go great. So that is another beneficial thing of Pokemon Go. So besides the fact that it gets people out the door, gets people to become social without relying on mobile technology to do that, and for business owners, it increases revenue, increases business, and like I said, health-wise, people with illnesses that need to walk around and keep their body active are getting that. Feel down about it or feel like that they're being health nuts. They're actually just more focused on playing the game. And of course, between parent and child, it does kind of bridge this gap to where something both can do together as some sort of form of like family time and be able to bond over this, which seems ridiculous enough and seems funny enough that people would say, well, let's bond over playing Pokemon Go. But at the end of the day, it does have its best points on it. So whatever it takes, if you being a parent, if you really are a parent, you understand where I'm coming from. It don't matter if it's Pokemon Go, if it's Ghostbusters, if it's Rainbow Bright, if it's My Little Pony, it doesn't matter. Whatever it does that bridges the gap between you and your child to have some sort of bond and some sort of fun time together to increase that family bond. If you're a parent, you would jump on every opportunity. That is the whole point of it. Like, I'll take whatever interest my kids are in. And right now, my daughters, they're into Pokemon. They're also into Scooby-Doo. So do a lot of watching Scooby-Doo, play a lot of Pokemon Go, going out to the parks, having fun, and I let their imaginations pretty much roll. So their imaginations, they want to pretend that they're playing Pokemon at the park and whatever. I don't knock their imagination. I encourage it. I hope to increase their imagination to get them actively going because I don't want my kids to be stationary and sit in a solitary environment. So anyways, that's it really for that topic. Other stuff going on, of course, the Alcatel Idol 4. People are getting very, 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 very excited for that device to come out. So I know there's going to be a ton of videos pretty much put out about that. Let's do a quick run through and see anything that's new or interesting that's happening right now in mobile tech. You know, 'cause these topics just pop up. So let's go into. Okay, so according right now to prepaid phonenews.com, Cricket Wireless to exclusively sell the Alcatel Idol 4 for only $199. That's pretty interesting. See, the Idol 4 comes with a 5.2-inch Full HD display. It runs an octa-core processor, the Snapdragon 617, and has 2 or 3 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and there's a micro SD card slot that holds up to 512 gigabytes of memory expansion, 13 megapixel rear camera, and an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. 2610 milliamp hour battery, and it runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. So that's kind of interesting there. So if you guys, when is this phone actually due to release? That's the thing. Or is it finally making its way to the U.S. earlier today? Okay, so it's probably being released today or is out currently right now. Check with John from Magic Tech Reviews. He would know. He works for Cricket, so definitely. I believe he did put up a video about it, so head over to his channel and watch that video and get some info on the Idol 4. I think the Idol 4 is pretty good. Buy one Go phone and get one free starting this Friday. So they got a BOGO offer from AT&T on Go phones. And that's whatever's new there. Let's go to AndroidPolice.com, see what they got wrote up. Moto Mods, thoughts and first impressions. That seems like a pretty good article. So head over to Android Police and check out that Moto Mods thoughts and first impressions. Twitter starts accepting applications for verified account statuses. So if you're someone who wants their Twitter account verified, you should do it now. That article was posted like 16 hours ago. Judge in Brazil orders WhatsApp blocked once again. It's getting insane. Okay, deal alert. Nexus 6P on sale for $318.99 at Best Buy. What model is this one? This is a 32 gig model. So that was posted 20 hours ago. So yeah, if you're heading over to Best Buy and you've ever wanted a Nexus 6P, they got a sale on. If your Best Buy carries it, you can walk out with a 32 gig model for $318.99. Not bad at all whatsoever. Let's see what else there is. Google Fiber now a real business. Expansion continues, which is something that still interested in because they're supposed to have that Google Fiber roll out here in Phoenix and Tempe, Arizona. So that's something that I hope will happen soon. Let's see. Let's pop open Reddit and see what's happening on the Reddit pages before I close out this morning show for today. I appreciate if you watch the replay. I know there's some people that have said I might do this like every other day, just like a morning thing. Just wake up by myself. I can share it with you guys. See. Working Samsung Galaxy Note 7 leak firsthand. So you guys might want to head over to Reddit and go in the Android section and check this video out. Looks like there's an actual Galaxy Note 7 demoed. Of course, but I mean I don't know. That does look like the S7 Edge. So who knows? But definitely go check it out. Let's see. Play YouTube videos in a floating bubble. Now that's interesting. We already know about the developer preview 5 for Android 7.0. More talks about the ZTE Z Max Pro for $100 at Metro PCS. I believe TechRite is going to grab that. If you haven't subscribed to TechRite, do so if you're interested in the ZTE Z Max Pro. Because he's going to grab that device sometime soon and do an unboxing. So if you want to see the unboxing and get a review from an actual consumer and not a paid blogger, definitely well, I don't want to say paid blogger, but a sponsored blogger, head over and subscribe to his channel. Here's one. Let's see what some of the answers are. What are some of the weirdest apps you've ever came across in the Play Store? Someone posts, I stumbled across a waterfall photo frame app, and I couldn't help giggling at the app's screenshots. It seems these apps are a thing. Another person puts, if there are so many apps like this is definitely a cultural thing. Is it for the Chinese people? That's kind of a little harsh right there. I'm an Indian living in the U.S. I feel bad now. LOL, we are not the same Indian. Okay. Some crazy stuff. Definitely, I say, if you guys never actually been on Reddit, check out Reddit. Reddit's actually pretty cool and very interesting stuff people talk about. Of course, just like any site, there's some dumb arguing, but if you're smart enough to not be baited it or goaded into these ridiculous arguments, you'll find it to be enjoying and informative above all. Let's see, a terrorist jihad app got removed though. I have the APK. Why would you want that? My gosh. Yeah, people go out of it. Just more and more. Yes. More stuff, propaganda, things like that. Alright, so final topic on a live show. USB Type-C. Some people still don't know what USB Type-C is. Now, USB Type-C is the most recent development for basically what port our smartphones are going to have. A couple of things that is beneficial is that the types of cables that's being constructed with USB Type-C are going to transfer data from any medium source to your smartphone at a rapid pace. But also, one thing duly noted is the shape of USB Type-C. Now, what we normally have, micro USB, the standard micro USB. So let me get one of my cables right here that have it already. Okay, so this is standard micro USB. Okay, if you notice that the top part is a little rounded, the bottom is flat, and this has been popular for quite some time now. Now USB Type-C, if you notice on the top where it's rounded, the bottom has the same shape. It's rounded on the bottom and on the top, and that's one of the beneficial things. And believe it or not, people have been trying to plug their their smartphones into a charger at night while it's dark and have broken USB ports basically because they shoved it in upside down. With one beneficial thing of USB Type-C is that you can stick it in either way. It's shaped identically, so there is no wrong way of plugging it in to your smartphone. So that's one thing that's beneficial besides the faster data transfer speeds that the cable itself will provide. And it is getting popular. USB Type-C has been around for quite some time now. The Nexus 6P, I believe, and the Nexus 5X had USB Type-C. In the middle of this year, it is starting to become the standard on newer devices coming out. So new flagships coming out, and that's one thing that we hear is that it's going to have USB Type-C. So USB Type-C has actually grown from what it was last year, and of course, last year was a big problem for people because they had to get some sort of adapter if they were going to use USB Type-C, and if they were going to use that wire to plug into something that doesn't have Type-C, they would have to have an adapter. But because it's becoming the standard, we can expect USB Type-C to make a full takeover, and I would say probably by the middle of next year. The middle of next year, most devices that are coming out are all going to have USB Type-C, which is going to phase out the micro USB that we're using right now. And to me, that's actually pretty good. And I like the way how has been transitioning to that point. Most people were in fear that because USB Type-C came out last year, it was on the last year's release of the Nexus devices, that everyone was afraid that it was just going to be a straight jump to Type-C, and it hasn't been. Yes, flagships now support USB Type-C, and most of them coming out have that implemented instead of micro USB. But still, some of the other devices, the mid-range and the budget devices, continue to use micro USB, and even some budget devices have come out with USB Type-C. So it's kind of like blended in instead of just did a full sweep takeover. It's slowly making its way in, which is a good thing. Gives people time to, when they're ready to upgrade, they won't just upgrade to a new budget phone or a new mid-range phone just because of Type-C. Like, there'll be more beneficial things that they're going to get. It's time for them to actually upgrade to a different phone, because the previous phone that they had that they're currently using as a daily driver just cannot withstand some of the new tech that's coming out, like applications and so on and so forth. So, giving them more of a reason to upgrade, and then of course just having USB Type-C thrown in there is the best option. And I enjoy and I'm fully supportive of the way how USB Type-C is kind of blending itself in, just kind of slowly sweeping in, while micro USB is being phased out. So that's always a good thing when technology moves with that type of pace. I totally hate it when technology just does a clean sweep, because then you feel like you're being jerked to upgrade to something just for that one thing, instead of when you can get more beneficial things out of doing that one upgrade. I always feel it should always be done that way, and I can appreciate it being done that way. So. But yeah, USB Type-C. Just besides the fact that you have faster data transfer of what it can transfer between a medium and your smartphone. Also the fact is that there's no wrong way to plug it into your phone makes it even better. So then that way people have less USB ports being damaged on their smartphone and having to go and do warranty replacements or warranty replacements and things like that, or insurance claims or whatever. That's pretty much it. If you came in and you watched the stream briefly or whatever, I really appreciate you guys for checking out my show. We're doing these, try to do these daily, or if not every other day, but just try to get in on the early AM and do some sort of broadcast show around my time, which I'm in Phoenix Mountain Time. So, and I'll probably try to do them between 6 a.m., 7 a.m., around there. This is the only time I really get where it's like absolutely quiet. Because my kids are still asleep, so I can come over here and do a live show, and then spend time with them when they wake up. It's always a good thing, being a parent out there. So yeah, mostly about Pokemon Go, but I'll dead this topic from this point on, because I've said everything I needed to say about Pokemon Go, and anyone else that has to say anything else about it can comment in the comment section on YouTube to kind of add on. So then that way I'm not gonna regurgitate this whole topic again, but it was something that I wanted to dive deep into and just kind of like open doors so people can pretty much see the full view. So if you guys appreciate that, you guys watch the playback on YouTube, you guys can let me know by smashing that like button, subscribe if you have not. Also, you guys can follow me on Google Plus if you guys want to, or you guys can follow me on the Facebook fan page, and I stream on there as well, just for little small segments. But anyways, guys, I'm going. I should get breakfast. You should too. Have a great, wonderful day. Start of your day. Hopefully you guys had a great breakfast. Hopefully you guys are feeling great and you're ready to tackle anything that's going on in your personal life, or whatever. Just have a positive day. Smile on your face. The sun is up, depending where you're at. If you're getting rain, you're lucky, because if you live in the desert, you barely get any moisture. So enjoy that rain. Also, happy Hump Day. I don't have a camel here to do something funny, but just remember, it's Hump Day, so it's all on the downward hill now. It's downward spiral to hit the weekend. So have a blessed day, and You guys will see me later. Bye.